On today's show, a historically poor winter leads to a novel and fishy approach.
Our new version of ice fishing.
Rory Nelson celebrates the ice fishing season in a most unique manner. Minnesota deer take a very cold ride, part of our need to better understand and protect white-tailed deer. And Laura cooks over fire with Chef Jim.
Got everything loaded in salt.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill, Millie, and I welcome you to today's icy episode.
Everyone knows that the 23 and 24 winter ice fishing season was a complete bust, but that did not mean people could still not get out fishing.
We celebrated the last days of the season with an angler who can always find a spot to wet a line.
So often, ice anglers celebrate success like this.
Ta-da! Oh my God, I did it!
But during the winter of 2023 and 2024, Minnesota ice proved not so nice. Blame wickedly warm weather. When winter life hands you lemons, just order breakfast.
So walleyes or pike?
That's Rory Nelson's take.
50-50.
Nelson normally ice fishes all winter long, but for some darn reason,
This year, there's not enough ice. Normally you'd have 30 inches ice right now. I don't want to take my kid out there, but I still want to go fishing.
so Rory chose another approach on the last weekend of the fishing season.
2024 ice fishing.
Last weekend of the season.
Palatil.
A lot of times, just outside the rapids is where these fish will stack up.
A morning of river fishing,
February, it's awfully nice out.
like none other on record.
Our new version of ice fishing. Keep up, boys, keep up.
You'll find northern smallmouth walleyes.
First fish.
First fish,
They all count.
pure skill. I've never been out casting an open river on the last weekend of the walleye season. This is unheard of. Oh, snap. I think I just missed my first hit. Literally, the guys would still be running the snowmobiles on this.
But not today. Winter stayed darn near tropically temperate.
No glove. We'll freeze.
Well, until this morning.
Hey, the sun is shining. Not a cloud in the sky.
A small victory at just 12 degrees.
It's so cold out. My hands are so numb.
All right, back to not being able to cast. It is not nice out right now. It's almost like we're in Minnesota.
You just have another one there, boss? So finding something to do. We're not sitting inside, we're not freezing. I mean, look at it out. Peace, quiet, no cars, no boats, no one else fishing. We got it to ourselves.
Get kids outdoors. After all, time flies.
This is Parker's Plastics.
Parker's Plastics.
It's Parker's Plastics. We go quite a bit. We try and spend as much time together as we can because it's only a matter of time before he's off to college, and you know how that goes. Spending as much time out fishing with Rory as possible is what I try and do.
A lot of fun. I even question.
Not when the fish bite.
And here we are, just winging it, figuring something to do on a nice day and pulling eyes out of the river. Can't complain about that. To be able to come out and cast comfortably, this is mind-boggling. This is one of those days, this memory is ingrained it may never happen again in our lifetime.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Star Bank, Rapid Marine family of dealerships, and by Flow Docks and Lifts.
Oh, hi, Travis.
Hey, Ron, I hate to ask, but your Connecticut water makes the best ice.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, Trav.
I need to keep these soft and white.
Oh, you know where it is.
Yeah. It's an emergency. I can't explain it, but Daisy needs a bath.
Travis, get your own Connecticut.
Well, girl, looks like it's time to get our own Connecticut system.
Connecticut, the world's most efficient water treatment system.
Ron, do you have the number?
Nothing beats memories made on the water. Time to make your own. Start now with a visit to Rapid Marine's family of dealerships, your ultimate resource for Lund boats. Rapid Marine sells more Lund boats than any other dealership in the country. Depend on inventory and expertise and the best service around. A great selection of pre-owned boats too. Visit Rapid Marine's 4 locations or check us out online at rapidmarine.com.
Ron Shera here. Just thinking about fishing, thinking about why Star Bank is our bank at Ron Shera Productions. You see, Star Bank is family owned, therefore you are treated like family. Call Star Bank, a person answers. Walk into Star Bank, they know your name. Star Bank is growing, now 11 locations in Minnesota. The latest is in Hancock and Stevens County. Yeah, Star Bank makes you feel good in many ways, just like a fish on the end of my line. Oh yeah.
Member FDIC.
Flow aluminum dock systems are made to bring time at the lake to a whole new level. You can create any layout you want and accessorize it for comfort and fun. They're strong, stable, safe, and they add a beautiful touch to your shoreline that will last for a very long time. Maybe it's time to join the thousands of other families that have turned their dock into a shoreline paradise. Maybe it's time for a Flow.
Last winter, we had a chance to watch Three Rivers and university biologists participate in a most unusual deer research project. It's a story that starts with the summer walk in the woods.
John Moriarty,
I went too low. Okay.
a fan of walks in the park.
We're in Elm Creek Park Reserve. Elm Creek Park Reserve is the largest park within Three Rivers Park District at over 5,000 acres.
Today,
She might be walking.
John hunts.
So she's in here. So now we have to do the hard walking.
Part of his work as Three River Park's senior wildlife manager.
Ooh, there's a scarlet tanager that just landed in the tree in front of us. So it's one of the fun things you get to do while you're tracking in the woods. A lot of times when you're tracking deer, you're not trying to get to the deer itself.
John and a team of researchers use a telemetry tracker to try and keep tabs on Elm Creek's white-tailed deer.
I'd say deer bed. Deer bed. It's part of a university project that they're doing with USDA, but we were kind of the host site.
Picked after the COVID pandemic. Remember that whole deal?
Interested in looking at how SARS-CoV-2 is spread amongst deer, how they get it, and how they might spread it within their population. We're trying to get at that kind of deer-to-deer interaction pattern that will give us a better understanding of how that disease is spreading amongst animals in terms of actual contacts and the overall density across the park and how that might change through time.
She's staying ahead of us. If we were out in the prairie, we'd be able to say, oh yeah, there she is, 60 yards ahead of us, and we can't see 60 yards.
We have to get our hands on the animals.
researchers look to a higher power for help. Eyes in the sky.
We do annual aerial deer surveys in the winter, so we basically are counting the deer when there's snow on the ground.
This crew captures deer for the project.
Send these helicopters up, they net gun the animals and capture them. We put the collars on it. In the process, something that's very familiar to many people is we will swab their noses to actually conduct a COVID test, very much like you would do at home if you thought that you were getting sick.
The collars are collecting GPS locations every half hour, and then it's updated to the satellite every day, and then we get that data that we can look on and on the computer and see where the deer moved from day to day.
That data collected and mapped.
This is all the deer that are in the park. All the blue dots are deer that are still recording. There's currently, I think, 42 deer in here with collars on them. And some have been on for a year and a half, some have been on for 6 months.
This is a species that is of really high cultural importance to really all Minnesotans.
Just for us to see where the deer are moving is kind of interesting.
A balancing act between people and wild critters, both who share the same space.
There's a fawn just went through the woods. And this just helps us know how that population moves around.
They are amongst us. They're living, with us. And in fact, if you think about it, they're getting the same diseases we do. They're getting COVID, we get COVID.
Still ahead, we go back in time as Ron Shera visits a remote Finland lake. But first, we get wild in the kitchen over the campfire.
Closed captioning provided by Clamshell Beach Resort.
You know, in Minnesota, up north is a magical place. Cabin life, fishing, boating, relaxing, making family memories. Hi, I'm Ron Shera, here to tell you about a new, affordable way to enjoy the magic. I found it here at Clamshell Beach Resort, located on the Whitefish chain. Clamshell offers lake homes with deeded fractional ownership, which means you can own and enjoy the resort without the hassle of maintenance and worry. Go to cottagesonwhitefish.com to start creating your own family memories.
We're getting wild in the outdoor kitchen today. I'm here with Chef Jim Kinberg, and if you're a winter camper, this recipe is for you. Chef Jim, what are we making today?
We're doing some fancy French toast.
Fancy French toast, which is perfect if you're winter camping because you want to make sure you have enough fuel for the day.
This recipe takes care of that, yes.
I love it. I can see we're using a Dutch oven for breakfast this morning.
We sure are. This is actually one of my favorite outdoor cooking, low and slow recipes for sure. This one's kind of fancy. We're going to actually give this a little flip instead of just the conventional put the hot coals on top approach.
How much butter do we need, Chef?
About approximately 2 tablespoons should work.
2 tablespoons.
Oh, we got that nice sizzle going. Next step is going to be, I've got some granola, you got it. Half of that in the bottom of the pan.
How much is this? Approximately a cup?
That is approximately a cup. That's good, perfect.
All right.
So next step, if you want to grab that bowl over there, you'll notice I've got all these ingredients already prepped, ready to go. So it's real quick and easy to put this together. So let's place half of that bread in there.
Is this fresh bread or a day-old bread? What kind of bread do we need?
This is day old. This is the discounted stuff at your bakery or the stuff you didn't eat fast enough in your house.
Even better.
Yeah. So next we're going to add our egg mixture, our custard.
And what's in the egg mixture?
So we have whole eggs, and then we have a little bit of cream, a little bit of cinnamon. Mix that together, get it in there.
Into the pan?
Into the pan. Get it in there. I think we're ready for the stuffing.
Is that this?
That is that. So once again, it's in the Ziploc bag, and that's cream cheese, maple syrup, and egg yolk.
So we just drizzle this over?
Right around, yeah. Fill the bottom of that. We've got a black raspberry. These are wild Minnesota raspberries. All right, then we'll just kind of repeat that process.
Looks good. You weren't joking when you said fancy.
We're not done yet. We still got some more bread. We're going to repeat that first step.
Right on top?
Right on top. Great. Put the remaining granola on top. So we've got everything loaded inside. It's time to put the lid on it and let it go.
Time for the baking process. All right, now we wait.
Now we wait. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes. Ooh, I can smell it, so that's exactly what I'm hoping to see. So, remember before I mentioned we're gonna flip this baby over. Ta-da! It's about 10 minutes on that opposite side, so everything's already nice and warm in there.
All right, I think it's been 30 minutes.
Ready to check?
Let's check.
Let's go for it. All right, ready for the big reveal? How do we do?
Ooh, I think we did good. This looks incredible, Chef.
Thank you.
An easy recipe to keep you fueled for some outdoor winter fun. Going in for a taste test.
Do it, please.
So good.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Leech Lake Tourism, Premier Marine, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Are you ready for your next summer adventure? Don't drag your feet. Check into paradise at legendary Leech Lake. Leech has built a reputation for amazing family vacations. Over 195 miles of shoreline and some of the best fishing in Minnesota. Activities for the whole family, too. Parks and trails for hiking and biking, shopping, dining, and gaming await you as well in Walker. There are over 30 family resorts and hotels waiting for you this summer at Leech Lake. So drop into summer and book your vacation today at leechlakeoutdoors.com.
No matter how you do water, there's a Premier pontoon for you. Because Premier pontoons are the best riding, best built, and have the best technology in the industry, with countless floor plans to choose from and exclusive award-winning innovations like Revolution seating and Troll and Stow. So whether you're looking for your first pontoon or your next, look to Premier.
Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes Ron Shera across the Atlantic Ocean to the home of Rapala Lures.
To Finland, where my dad took a break from work to celebrate the Finnish outdoor life.
There. Oh, good one too. Oh, that's a dandy. That is a dandy. That green Rapala.
A well-known trout, a rainbow, falls to a well-known lure, a Rapala. So maybe this is a well-known lake in Maine, or perhaps a fishing hideaway in northern Wisconsin or Minnesota. And surely a trout this size would paint an angling smile anywhere there's water.
That's the beauty of it. You could be anywhere. But it's kind of magical to know that you're halfway around the world.
So if there's a holy land for fishing, this could be it. Finland, a country made of water and woods and fishing heroes. It's the homeland of Rory Rapala, until he died, the most famous lure carver in the world. He carved the Rapala. It's still made in Finland, tank tested and ready to rumble right out of the box. You see, fishing matters in Finland.
This is still very natural country. We are few here. We are only 5 million people. It's a big land, big area, and the lakes, they are clean. You can almost drink water wherever you want. So we feel that it's a great place for fishing, especially in summertime.
The fishing here, the trout here, the pike here, of course you have pike and holland, but they are different here because the surrounding is different and the atmosphere is different.
Visiting anglers also get a mighty fishy welcome.
This will cure my headache.
A toast to good fishing, and then strip down to your birthday suit for a traditional Finnish sauna, followed by a traditional leap into fishing water.
You can feel everything in your body, from your toes up to your neck. I mean, it was just amazing.
Sauna is great, but I'm not going into the cold water. I mean, these Finnish people are way too healthy. But fishing the water, it seems to me, was a better idea. This is Kelkinen Rapids, famed as a fishing hotspot, but only for members of a fishing club.
This is very famous place where famous Finnish fishermen have been.
This is Payoni Lake, the second largest in Finland. On a nearby island, Rory Rapala sat in this rustic log cabin and carved his first lures a half-century ago. Today, Finnish anglers flock to Payoni to compete in trolling tournaments for northern pike. As you can see, there's no limit on lines in the water or boats with unusual names.
Fishing in Finland is like a strange sort of, it's a hybrid of everything else that you find around. I mean, you must see a lot of American style here. They like that, you know, they like the zooming around in the boats and all the rest of it. But they've still got all the influence of the Europeans who could still fish to eat.
We want to maybe put this down to 8 meters or 9 meters.
Lars Olberg worked with Rapala lures on weekdays and fishes for northern pike on weekends.
Oh, there's something.
And the fish of choice are toothy northern pike.
The general picture is that you have a nation of 5 million people, and you have a country with 300,000–400,000 lakes. You have a country with, you know, tens of thousands of rivers. It's no wonder that we have about 2 million people in a country of 5 million that go fishing.
In the rain and cold, we finally found a few pike willing to play. Turns out a Finnish pike isn't much different from an American one. And one fishing companion was pretty impressed. This is Risto Rapala, one of Rory Rapala's surviving sons. The Finnish word for pike is hauki, Risto said. Risto was too kind to say the word for small.
You've been lucky to visit Finland as well.
Yeah, once over at Rapala and then once at Martini Knives. Our great friends over there.
Very cool. Well, that about does it for us. We hope to see you back here next week.
In the meantime, Millie, what do we always say? Remember to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.